Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Pisces. Pisces, are you wondering if there's a soulmate waiting for you or one that is predestined? This is what this reading is about. We are looking for your soulmate, and they're probably looking for you. So, what we're going to do today is we're going directly to our spirit guides and we're asking six specific questions. I don't know why I had a hard time saying that. Um, and I'll tell you what they are real quick. Number one, your soulmate's subconscious thoughts about you right now. And I'm saying subconscious, it could be conscious, um, because I know soulmates many times have had previous lives. So, that means that you always reside in their heart. Number two, we're just going to flip the script. Your thoughts on them right now. Number three, 2025's potential of you guys meeting or coming together. Um, our guides know that I'm interested in now, not 2026. So I was very clear. I want to know, like, the sooner the better. Number four, did we love in this lifetime? And did we live in a past lifetime or love in a past lifetime? You may have lived lives before, previous lifetimes, but maybe didn't come together for love. You may have other things that you wanted to accomplish in those lifetimes. This lifetime, I feel like it's about love. So, number five, divine's energy that is supporting this connection. And last but not least, the major arcanas that's connection or connecting the two of you. So we're going to use the major arcanas. That will be question number 6. I am going to open with Mother Mary though, and we're going to use the crystal vision. For the question first, we're going to use the Psychic Tarot, a deck I just love for you. And then we're going to use the Gilded Tarot. So we'll take one above, one below. But let's go ahead and start with Mother Mary. Let's go ahead and open up this reading, the card portion anyway. This, by the way, is for Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You could certainly have plans in the sign of Pisces. I look at it this way. Whatever brought you to the reading, whether you have Pisces in your chart or not, those are your spirit guides. This is who we read through. I read through my spirit guides. All right, I do want to give these a real quick shuffle. I like to give them a shuffle with you here. I'll give them a cut. Because I don't want to see the cards. Well, what a mess I'm making. I don't want to see the cards until you see them. Made a mess with that deck. All right. And I cut them just to introduce them into the reading. And then last but not least, let's do the crystal vision. Cut. And we shall begin. All right. Oh, I already brought the lid down. Okay. Mother Mary, Mother Mary. I know I probably already cut them, but that's all right. All right. Wow. That didn't take long at all. All right. So first we have sobriety. My clear mind is easily able to focus and concentrate. My clear mind is easily able to concentrate focus and concentrate. And then we have caring. Heaven cares for me, and I keep my heart open to caring about myself, others, and the world. This is your natural energy, anyways. Sobriety just makes me feel like, it can be a personal battle, something that you're dealing within. Sometimes I feel like it's when I'm trying to get through something difficult, is there a vice that I use that doesn't really serve me? Maybe it helps me forget for the moment. But I feel more what it's talking about because we're looking for soulmates in the here and now. Um, the clearer your mind, the easier it'll be to, first of all, notice the signs and then follow the signs. So, speaking of signs, let's go ahead and open up this reading. So let's start with question 1. Your soulmate's subconscious thoughts about you right now. Oh my. Trapped in fear. This is the 8 of Swords. You just look at this person, right? They feel trapped. They could squeeze between those bars if they really wanted to. This is a self-created prison. And because it is self-created, that means whoever created it can uncreate it. And then it's freedom. It's freedom. Freedom to be. It's like all those doubting thoughts go away. So it's interesting. This is how they're thinking of you right now. Let's go deeper. We have the King of Wands, can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Look at this, the 4 of Wands. Someone's worried. Someone's fearful of a commitment. Or someone may fear that someone is fearful of a commitment, if that makes sense. And it's interesting because this is the marriage card. This is true commitment. To me, this is true love. And it is mirroring the King of Wands. King of Wands is someone, let's take the sign out of it for a second and let's just think of the energy. This is someone who's action oriented. This is someone who moves according to their passions. Very seldom do I feel like fire gets stuck. So I feel they are thinking that some of you may know who this is, or they may know you, because that's what I get a feeling of, like that you are maybe subconsciously blocking. And if that's the case, it probably has something, well, it doesn't probably, it's something of the past. I get it. It's like we've all given our heart before, right? Had our heart stamped upon. Some love works out, some love doesn't. I don't feel like all love is meant to last forever. I really feel like the different levels of love help to teach us to be better lovers, so to speak. So I feel like this is simply, well, I'm saying simply, but I feel someone has a fear of commitment. Not that I don't want it, but maybe I fear whether it will be truthful or not. I have a feeling someone has dealt with someone who has gone hot and cold, like kind of keeps you hanging on the hook, but never made that ultimate commitment, let's say. Well, what I want to say is that was then, that was them. This is about what's new. All right, well, let's keep going. So we're just reversing the question now. Your subconscious or conscious thoughts on them. The Empress. The Empress. Mother figure. Creative. I feel like I feel like that you would feel like, excuse my language, but that they have their shit together. If something made me add this up to 8 plus a 3 and 11. Some of you may be in a twin flame relationship. Let's go above it. The Hierophant. And the Six of Swords. I'm really happy to see the Six of Swords because I feel like what this is doing, it's breaking you free from the Eight of Swords or breaking who's ever in the Eight of Swords. Again, this is them, their subconscious thoughts on you. So it's them seeing you in the Eight of Swords or feeling the energy of almost like without even knowing them, this feeling of is is this the right time to love? I feel like they have a very good image of you. Um, the Hierophant, which is a number 5, so we have an 8, which is about a new beginning. And that new beginning is about setting oneself free from the past or any limited thoughts, like you don't want to go into, let's say, a new relationship bringing all the baggage of past relationships. That would be too much. But because we have the Six of Swords, I feel like you're not. You're not bringing it along. And I even love that it's mirroring the Hierophant, which is about your belief system, your morals. And I have a feeling it's important that our morals align. I feel like the Hierophant is blessing this union. That should help quite a bit. Remember, 5 is change. 6 of Swords means we have to look back one card. What am I moving on from? The 5 of Swords, that's where toxicity lived. But I feel like that's their house. That's toxicity's house, not where you live anymore. And I don't mean like a physical location. I mean within your mind, within your heart, within your soul. This is letting go. And that makes sense that the Empress would then be here because the Empress doesn't live in a state of fear. The Empress lets her intuition be her guide. Okay, well, let's keep going. So, 2025's potential of the two of you meeting and coming together. We have solitude. This is the Hermit, and we're in the year of the Hermit. So that kind of makes sense. Some of you, this may simply, I see solitude, I think single on my own, but I don't feel like there's been wasted time. I feel like this is where you've been growing. This is very spiritual. The 3 of Pentacles, I like that. And then the 4 of Swords, beautiful, healing. but not just any type of healing, healing, spiritual knowledge, wisdom. The Three of Pentacles above, when it's in a love reading, it speaks about your individuality and being proud of who you are. The other three we have on the board is the Empress. And this, much like the Empress, is a very creative type energy. This is where other people are admiring you for what you do. But I have a feeling it's talking about a particular person. Whether you know who they are yet or not, it's like someone who is going to love you for exactly who you are, broken little pieces and all. Even the Empress has some broken pieces. We're born imperfect. There feels like there has been a lot of spiritual growth here after the fact. So I love that the Emperor I love that the Hermit showed, because we're asking, is this a connection that's going to happen in 2025? Well, that's what the Hermit represents. So I feel like that answers that question. And, I feel like as we speak about broken little pieces, I feel like our ultimate soulmate, because we have many soulmates, but our ultimate soulmate, the soulmate that we really do have the potential of living the rest of our lives together. Um, I just feel like, listen, I feel like this is both ways. Like you'll both appreciate each other for exactly who each other is. And the creativity is probably similar. Like you may both enjoy doing certain things. Both of you feel like you're on a spiritual path and you know it. And I feel like both know it. Interesting, because I don't often feel that. But I do here. I feel both know that. You know, the other four that's connected with the Four of Swords is the Four of Wands, the marriage card. And what I feel like it's saying is some just are afraid to make a commitment or even a future commitment. But if that's the case, then remember there's probably some past energy that you need to try to let go of. And that's what the Hermit, this is what this year is all about, right? It is the final reflection of a 9-year cycle coming to an end. And then a whole brand new 9 years opens up. If we take that seriously, what do I want my next 9 years to look like? Number one, I love that there seems to be creativity all around you, like flowing. I love that you have this healing, but it's spiritual healing. And I have a feeling some of you may be spiritual healers. And you may just meet someone else who, whether they do it for a living, naturally carry that energy. The Eight of Swords and the Empress cannot go together. They don't fit. It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. You can't do it. Right? Because the Empress doesn't live in fear. The Empress doesn't build walls around her. She lets her intuition speak and guide her. And this is how they're looking at you. Okay, let's keep going. Number 4. Did we love in this lifetime and a past lifetime? I feel like that's clear. The light, the sun, illumination, brand new day. I mean, I feel like the answer is yes. Interesting. Nine of Swords. Unnecessary worry. But look at the sun right below it. And it's like she's reaching right up to that Nine of Swords. The sun illuminates everything for you. And I feel like what the sun is illuminating is this unnecessary worry. Now, if this worry still exists at this point, we need to go back to the beginning because it all started in the Eight of Swords. And again, I just get this sense that there's just energy I haven't cleared. And this isn't about, you have free will. This love can come in and you can say no. But I'm not feeling that's what you would want. I feel at this point it would be because, well, just simply something is not cleared. We have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups, the meaning is rejoice in celebration. It is the energy of joy, connected to the sun, mirroring the Nine of Swords. It's like, which energy am I going to choose? Joy or fear? Unnecessary. It's being illuminated. Why would it be illuminated? Because it may be getting in your way. It may be coming in between you and your real joy. And it doesn't mean that you need another person to find joy. I feel like it's about the thought system. But I feel like this is clearly being pointed out to you and them or them. 9, 9, and a 9. Boy, final reflection. Like, let's use this year for what this year was meant for. So that when we enter 2026 in the year or the energy of the magician, we can manifest, baby. And that does take putting the past behind us. Another way you can look at this is what have I learned about love? How have I grown? Sometimes it's just a self-acceptance. The Three of Pentacles speaks about your individuality, but it celebrates your individuality. Do you celebrate your individuality? Or does your mind go to fear? So it's interesting. This is about a past life or present life. I definitely feel past life for sure. And I think I'm going to come back and look at that. But let's keep moving and then we'll come back if we need to. So number 5, divine's energy that's supporting this connection, that's supporting these soulmates. Two of Swords. Look at this. The Magician. Justice. Excuse me just one second. Hi, can I call you back? Yeah. Okay, I'm doing a reading. I'll call you back. All right, love you too. Okay, sorry, that was my daughter. Um, Justice, look at that. Justice is now mirroring the marriage card. Justice is about cutting ties. It's using that sword of justice, remembering that it was a gift, just like our intuition. We were given certain gifts. I feel like we're all psychic, especially you, Pisces. But it's bringing it to the forefront. And the more, think of your intuition like a muscle. The more you trust it, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. So, I simply feel like this is saying that the fear element is what may be coming in the way. You have justice mirroring the marriage card. It can certainly talk about, a marriage that ended, um, or maybe, let's just say commitment. Two of Swords means you wearing a blindfold, something you may not want to face. Some of you may be in a relationship right now and you're not happy. And you're trying to figure out what to do. And I feel like if you truly feel like you're not happy, you kind of feel like there's only one thing to do, right? You have a right to live your life the way that you see it. That's what the Hierophant stands for. Your morals, you know, your ultimate goals. And why not? Why wouldn't I want someone who has similar goals, similar morals as me? I do, right? And I feel like you have every right to want that. But not everyone's going to live up to that. And that's kind of what I feel. I feel like someone just didn't live up to maybe their promise. So what do I do? What do I do? Well, the magician's like, what do you want to do? Right? I can help you manifest. Interesting. You know how I feel like divine is helping? It's helping those who need to cut ties to cut those ultimate ties. Now, when I say ties, sometimes it's just our thought system. But boy, can our thought system lie to us. I often feel like if this energy isn't cleared, but then it moves forward and I meet someone, am I not just dragging all this past into the potential of my today and my tomorrow? Now, this could be either or. The sun is going to illuminate whatever needs illuminated to help bring this together. I do feel like then it will be a free will choice. Whatever you're letting go of, you have healing right next to it. And, sometimes I feel like something sends me into the dark night of the soul. And I come out of that dark night of the soul completely different. Maybe I have brand new ideas. That's your spirit guides. And I often feel like one of the best ways to overcome something is to refocus the mind. And that's what I feel in the Three of Pentacles. Almost like I was learning about my spirituality, and next thing you know, it's what I'm doing. It's my business. I feel like you're natural healers. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in the major arcana. So I already got these. So the major arcanas connecting you. And I am going to shuffle for these. We have the devil, card of Capricorn. Look at this. Hello, destiny. The wheel. And even the person spinning the wheel, she got a blindfold on. Blind faith. Believing, trusting in blind faith. And then the hangman. It's like the hangman sitting right next to justice. It's kind of like saying, once that sword is used, again, it doesn't have to mean like literally like cutting ties with somebody. It can be your thoughts, but it is of the past. So whatever you need to use that sword for, I feel like only opens up, well, your destiny. The devil is mirroring the Eight of Swords, and the devil is great at casting illusions, making us feel that we're stuck when we're not really. That doesn't mean it's easy. Change can be difficult, but look where it's leading you. The devil can talk about temptations. We do have sobriety here. So just ask yourself, is there anything coming? Do you feel there's anything coming between you and, let's just say, your ultimate life? Even the hangman mirroring the Four of Wands, to me, that's a good sign. Because, yes, I may have had to use that sword to cut ties to what I had hoped was a committed relationship, but it doesn't seem like it turned out that way. But because it's mirroring the Four of Wands and the Wheel, this is to me a commitment that will be. And it's destined to be. It feels like I got to get out of my own way. I got to get out of my own way. It's interesting how the devil brings out the hangman, unless this is a Capricorn for you. But it may be talking about being very honest with yourself, you know, especially with the sun here, because the sun will illuminate everything. It will illuminate what's getting in your way. And it's illuminating the Nine of Swords, worry. But it is unnecessary worry. That is the meaning of the card. I feel like I can either be in the Nine of Swords or the Three of Cups. Three of Cups, the meaning is rejoice and celebration. But remember, it's the energy of joy. So even if there's not a whole heck of a lot to be joyful about, I feel like there's something. It's like that energy of gratitude. When you're grateful for what you have, you're opening the door to more of God's gifts. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the decks. Well, there's that Five of Swords. But the good news is there's the Six of Swords. That Five of Swords is what's been hanging up the hangman. That Nine of Swords, oh my. I'm saying oh my because it's mirroring the devil's energy now. Again, unnecessary worry. But I have to tell you, I like this image because I feel like, first of all, her sword is down, or her wand, whatever it may be, and she's looking outwardly. Here, you can see the person is kind of down in the dumps, laying on that cold snow. There's that little birdie I feel like is just trying to, it's like she's sleeping beauty. And that little bird wants to wake her up. It's like a spiritual awakening. So it's showing you how much influence, how much shadow influence is around you, but your power over it. Remember, we have power over the dark. Look at that, the tower. So the tower mirroring the wheel. Well, I have to tell you, I feel like this is talking about past lives. Four of Cups underneath that. Discontentment and boredom in one's emotional life. But in the Four of Cups, there is a cup coming in. It's a brand new cup. Nice and shiny. And the meaning of this card is using your spiritual discernment. But look at this. That cup is from a previous lifetime. You may be remembering, without really knowing that you're remembering, some hardships that the two of you have dealt with in a previous life. It feels like, I want to say, oh, I just looked at that, Four of Cups, Page of Wands, my risk taker, Chariot underneath the Nine of Swords, and the Two of Wands under the Five of Swords. Beautiful. So, if ever there was a time to do shadow work, if you haven't already, this is it. And why? To get you ready so that you can be open. Think of the Empress, and it's really coming under your energy. The Empress, loving, nurturing, creative, powerful, courageous. This is someone who trusts her intuition. She doesn't build these walls. That's why I'm saying they don't go together. It's interesting because someone may be reading your energy wrong, but it may be because of the Nine of Swords. I don't know. Like, I almost feel like they're picking up, well, it could be this previous life. It's almost, I get this feeling that someone's saying, can lightning strike twice? And the answer is yes. I love that we have the Hermit, because we're in the year of the Hermit, with the sun right next to it. So, the clarity of this year, well, really the last 9 years, but it's to really look at how you have grown, things that you have learned, things that you have overcome, and the things that are yet to be. Well, that's what the sun represents. Brand new day, unencumbered energy, like no need for worry. And let's just say that you're really having a hard time with the worry factor. Take it slow, my friend. Take it slow. Because time will reveal all. Who a person is. And you're great at reading energy. You just need to trust that. Because I feel like if this was something like the devil and the Eight of Swords, right? With the Nine of Swords. Let's just say it was like lower vibrational energy. I feel like you should pick it up immediately. Now, that's if you've done this spiritual work. I hate to call it work because it's really about your spiritual growth. And I really feel like this time period coming up should be unencumbered, should be fun, should be joyful. Like it is meant for you to really enjoy. And look at the magician right next to your destiny. All right. I'm going to put these away for a second. I'm going to bring out the cosmic tarot. And I just want to look at a couple things. I feel like the main message here is the worry factor and understanding that, past relationships, we've all had them, right? And the majority of them don't last until you find that ultimate person. But you do have free will. And that is really what the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords is. It's free will. Even the Hermit's energy, it's free will to seek your spirituality. Seek it and ye shall find it. Okay. So I just want to ask, instead of looking at anything, I just want to ask about these soulmates. We have the Princess of Wands. Interesting because we have the King of Wands. I don't know why. I feel like we saw the Queen. We have the Five of Wands. That can talk about friendly competition, or it can talk about fighting. Seven of Wands. Holy Wands. The Empress. And look at this, the Ten of Wands. I have a feeling this wasn't meant to be easy. And you may say, why? Why? Why would it have to be difficult for me? Not that I feel like it's difficult. I feel like there's some lessons within this. And I feel like each soulmate has their own life lessons. And it's important that each of them learn them on their own. And then there's going to be, what you're learning together. I find it interesting with the Empress connected to the Princess of Wands, and I feel like this is her younger energy. Some of you may know who this person is because I feel like there could have been some back and forth, but that feels like it was back in the day or in a previous life. I feel like someone was very sure of themselves, but to the point where it may have turned others off. Like, oh, look at her. She just thinks she knows it all. But you probably do. You probably do. And I feel like Part of this is about learning how to contain that energy in a way where it's not really off-putting. Doesn't mean to change you, but I do get this sense of, well, I want to say my way or the highway, but now as the Empress, it's still my way or the highway, but it's in a much more opened way, let's say. I feel like the Empress knows what she wants. It doesn't even mean the person, but I know what type of person I want, right? I know that this person must have similar morals to me. I feel like that's a must. I even think that it's important. How do I say this? Okay, well, let me say it this way. I don't think this is going to happen, but I feel like someone is thinking, you know, I'm going to let them in, and they're just going to break my heart. And why wouldn't they? Everyone before has. Well, because if you are truly in the Empress's energy, then you've cleared the past. You know yourself. I think of like I'm a Virgo, and one of the traits Virgo has is overthinking. By the way, I am your opposite. Um, so it's something that I have to think about, right? Like, don't overthink it, Sandy. But really, what I feel like this is showing your growth. What you've been through, what you've overcome. And I do feel a little aggression. So just keep that in mind. I am certainly not telling you what to do ever. Um, but I do feel like my job is to point out the energy at least. Okay, so I get that. So tell us more of how this might come together. We have the Eight of Wands, and then we have the Five of Swords. So it's interesting because I feel like both of you have gone through similar energy. Eight of Wands, what I think about, I bring about. It's also fast moving energy. Okay. So I feel like your soulmate is someone who has found themselves following their passions and then saying, shit. Like, they weren't giving something time. So the similarities of what you've been through, I feel like, are very close. Eight of Wands to me is also like the law of attraction. So that's why I got to be a little careful of that Five of Swords. Like, I don't want to think that that's all that my life is going to be. Dang it, Eight of Swords. You have a lot of swords. The Hermit, reflection. Let me tell you, I feel like reflection is going to be everything for you. Like the last ninth year of a 9-year cycle. But what's nice is we have two hermits now. Maybe you both had to go through this. And let me tell you something. That means you're going to understand each other. So I feel like instead of like blocking it, let's say, I would take a step into it and then just have a conversation. Because I feel like through conversation, it's probably why we're getting a lot of swords. Number one, I feel like we'll find out that we each have like similar situations that we had to heal from, but I feel like you both did, or hopefully did, because both the hermits are, neither one are in the dark night of the soul. They're both emerged. And I feel like that also makes you a natural healer or gives you that healing ability. Why? Because you've been there. Interesting, we do have double Virgo, Seven of Pentacles. It's much like the wheel. This is your tree of life. I feel like what this is representing is this seed is coming to fruition. This may have been predestined. Chances are it was. And this is the timing. I'm feeling, for those who may say, when is it going to be my time? I want you to leave it open to the universe as much as you can. And what I mean is trust in divine timing. And I know that's like a hard pill to swallow, but remember that divine is always has your back, but cannot come between you and your free will. And some of these life lessons, though they are difficult, man, they turn out to be your best teacher. And listen, when you learn these lessons, you never have to repeat them, especially if you're in the Empress's energy. She doesn't create these walls. Her intuition is her guiding light. Seven of Pentacles. It's just meant to be. Seven of Pentacles has a couple different messages, and much like Temperance, its first message is patience. Why? Well, think of this like an apple tree, right? I planted the seed. My apple tree is growing. I have to nurture that seed. If I give it nurturing and loving, then it's only going to blossom, right? But I'm not going to pick that apple until that apple is ripe. And when it's ripe, that's the right time. So I feel like what this is saying is that seed is ripe. All right. Anything else? Well, hello, soulmates. Hello, soulmates. Oh my God. And the wheel. Pisces. I feel like if we could just get rid of our overthinking, if we can understand that these hardships we've been through truly were our greatest lessons. And these hardships are meant to really increase your vibration, not decrease it. Like every lesson learned, I feel like, is a vibration lifted. I mean, come on, soulmates right next to destiny. Destiny right there, mirroring the hangman. The seed is coming to fruition. I ask when we receive the hermit. Now, maybe September, because we don't have that much time left in 2025. And this is what I'm asking our guides. I want to know about 2025. So, you know, it's the clearing of the past. It is the opening up to the present. And it's just allowing yourself to get excited for the potential of what can be. If you're in the Empress's energy, you're okay. You're pretty happy. It doesn't mean like everything is great, but it's good enough. And you feel good. And you know that you can manifest. All right. Let's bring out the romance angels. And then we will let this be. Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. I feel like that's what I've been trying to say. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And that's what the Empress, she lives in the present moment because she knows, like, some of the tarot cards, you'll see the Empress has an apple about ready to hit her in the head. That to me is like an epiphany. And she knows, that it's her spirit guide. She knows that that apple was meant to hit her. Love yourself first. Your self respect makes you more romantically attractive. I feel like that is the swords. And just anything else want to come out. Interesting wedding. I'm saying interesting because I literally just got done with Capricorn's reading. Capricorn is right here. So, and I'm saying it because this was their last card. And this is your last card. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are connected to Capricorn. But it doesn't have to be the case. This situation involves marriage. We have the soulmates. We have destiny. We now have two wheels. We have two hermits. That's good. That means both have done the reflection. Both are looking for the light. We have the light. We have a reason to celebrate. And we have ultimate commitment right here. Listen, maybe this is the marriage card. Maybe, or let's just call it the commitment card. Something didn't work out. Maybe you really, really wanted it to. But maybe it just wasn't your ultimate person. Because I'm saying that because I know Justice is talking about the cutting of those ties. But look at this. It's replaced. But it's replaced with your soulmate. So if we can get in the habit of not looking at love as in like, oh, like nothing works out. Think of where your own vibration is at. That is so important. That's 9/10 of the law. Believe in the unbelievable. The impossible is only impossible until it becomes possible. I know this energy very well. And, I guess the best thing I can say is if you feel like you're carrying a lot of worry around, try to analyze that. Try to use this year for really what it's meant for, right? That final reflection. But look back in a different way. Look back to see how you have grown. You know, sometimes we want what we want, but let's say I want someone, but our morals are completely different. Of course, that's not going to last, right? Or maybe I'm someone who, wants to have a good financial life, and someone I was connected to doesn't even want to work. Well, that's not going to last. You know what I mean? But that wasn't your person, but they might have taught you something. And that's what we do for each other. We teach. Sometimes they're hard lessons, but these hard lessons lead to hard blessings. This is your ultimate soulmate. It just is. It is on your wheel. And, I'm just going to let that be because I swear I could go on and on and on, but I get this feeling like I don't want to try to talk you into anything. I would like to try to talk you out of the worry. But that, it's self-created, so you're the only one who can do that. Like, I feel like it's the saying, don't be fearful of life. Life is about an adventure. And adventures, sometimes they pay off, sometimes they don't. But you got to get back on that horse again. Now, of course, you don't have to. You could say no to all of this. That is your free will, and your guides know that. That's exactly why I read through our guides. So they're giving us the ultimate picture, right? Like, if we're able to let go of these swords, here's the potential. Here's the true potential. Okay. I'm going to let that be. Um, we'll get more into it for your monthly for October, which is right around the corner. But I wanted to do these now because I just get a feeling a lot of soulmates. Number one, I feel like the energies are matching and it just feels like the right time. So, anyway, I'm going to let that be. I thank you guys. I love you. And I pray that this love, that it finds you and that you get excited about it. Remember, the sun is also your protector. It literally says to you, anything done in the dark will come to the light. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, I don't think I don't see anything dark other than what was. The main thing I would say, not the main thing, but I do want to say with sobriety and the devil, that's the one thing, I could see where maybe I'm having a hard time and I'm drinking more than normal or what have you. Just keep that in mind. That's all. But other than that, like if we could get beyond the swords, we could truly see the beauty. And I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.